G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Aussie Starcraft as we settle into what has been a fantastic series between these two players as we enter game number 5, the deciding match in this best of 5 series. In the bottom left hand corner is our red Zerg player, you know him, love him, it's EGJD. Up in the top right hand corner, our unstoppable blue Terran, it is Red Bull's Bomber. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the earlier games in the series, they are up on the channel, so feel free to go and check them out. Bomber did take a decisive lead early in this tournament, but Jaedong never wanted to go down without a fight. He's clawed his way back tooth and nail, and we'll see what goes down in game number 5. The map is, of course, Overgrowth, and a map that's very familiar to all our players. Has been in the map pool for quite a while. Pretty much every best of 3 series has a map played on it. And our players know it extremely well. Lots of things to be careful for both players. Lots of interesting strategies we've seen throughout this tournament, and just curious to see what measures these players use to try and gain the upper hand in this series. Looks like Bomber's going for his fairly standard opening here. It's a gasless opening. Expect to see him throw down a command center on the low ground in due course. Jaedong, on the other hand, going to go hatch before pool. Fairly safe, particularly on Overgrowth. Unlikely that the Terran player will be doing any sort of proxy shenanigans, though we have seen it out of Bomber here in the past. I imagine that's why we see these Overlords scouting in unusual patterns across the map. Jaedong going to be relieved when he gets to the other side of the map, sees this barracks, and by the time the Overlord gets here, should be just about time for that command center to go down. I imagine this indeed we do. We have the SCV being rallied down to the low ground. That command center will be thrown down any minute now. Well, of course, spawning pool for Jaedong coming up now in the bottom left hand corner of the map. Not going too greedy. Double hatch before pool would be exceptionally greedy, especially against a player of Bomber's caliber. Could well that much greed in such a vital game very much lead to his downfall. Obviously, Jaedong not one to make such a silly mistake. We do have quite a quick Zergling speed likely to come out of Jaedong here as he grabs that extractor and pops a few drones in there. Command center going down, a few Marines working away on the destructible debris, but nothing hugely untoward as we start off this game. Both our players settling in for relatively strong macro mid-game as they go for rather economic openings. While we wait for things to get underway, just want to do a few housekeeping things for the channel. Of course, we are leading up into the Christmas season where I have lots of holidays, so expect a stack of content. I've got lots of ideas for things I'd like to cast, as well as lots of replays from Season 3 and Blizzcon that I'll be bringing to you. Also had some games from IEM recently, so we'll see if we can put those up in due course as well. Now, to celebrate the fact that we are indeed leading into the Christmas season, is a time for giving. Thought we'd celebrate with a little bit of a promotion here on the channel. So we're going to have the 10 days of Christmas leading into Christmas, of course, today being the 15th. With Christmas just 10 short days away, we're going to have the 10 days of Christmas promotion, so we'll be uploading a video every single day. And the first person to share one of those videos via YouTube or social media and send us a note here at the channel will receive a free giveaway. It will be a Steam game of one variety or another, so you're welcome to keep that or pass it on to someone you think might enjoy it if you already have it. So first person to share this video will be receiving that. Just send us a message when you've done it. We'll be happy to send those codes across to you. So I just thought we'd celebrate with something a little bit different. Always nice to have a giveaway. So we'll be doing that this Christmas just to celebrate. It's been a year since we started casting as well, so lots of nice I guess milestones here at the channel, and we really appreciate all the support that we've had from you over the past 12 months. It's you guys that make casting fun and enjoyable, so we appreciate all your feedback and all you've done in the past to help us. So a little bit of a giveaway just to say thank you at Christmas. So you can see Jaedong obviously grabbing his gas now at both his base. Still missing one geyser in the main. Not hugely uncommon to take the gas in this order. Bomber, of course, starting to consolidate his position. We have a few Hellions coming out. Potential for these to do a little bit of damage, but the real key is just getting the third base down before the Hellions get out. If that third base drone gets picked off, it can be very difficult for a Zerg player to to not lose traction in the game and fall behind, as they have to then produce roaches to drive away the Hellions and get the expansion down. So as long as that's down, not a whole lot Bomber will be able to do in this window between the hatchery constructing, the drones actually arriving. Not a lot for these first two Hellions to do. And interestingly enough, the follow-up is going to be a few Widow Mines. So only 2 Hellions for a bit of scouting. They're not going to be able to get into the main base. So we can see they've already been spotted here by the Queens. Creep tumours being spread very aggressively by Jaedong. And if there's something I'd like to say about Jaedong, it's that his creep spread has just been incredible in this tournament. Nice throw down there. Extra evolution chamber just to make sure the Hellions can't get in and do any damage to the drone line. Nothing at the third base for them to pick off. And yeah, well, what I was trying to say is Jaedong's creep spread is just, it's always been quite good, but in this tournament it's just been absolutely incredible. Very active, as we can see, 8 minutes spreading well out into the middle of the map. Going to give him a great position on these watchtowers as he spreads those through the centre of the map. Have an Overseer morphing at the top location. That's the first Overlord that Jaedong sent across the map. Going to get a bit of a scout, see what's going on. You can see the wall coming down from Bomber. Bomber a little concerned about those roaches he's seen. In fact, the roaches are out in the middle of the map. He spotted that with his Hellions reacting by dropping a bunker. So nice choice from Bomber here. Really needs a few Marauders actually. I think the first one's in production now. Oh, actually, first one coming down the ramp, second one in production. And already got SCVs in position. Knows this is a dangerous roach push from Jaedong. This can and will break if you're not careful. Widow Mines adding a little bit of splash damage. Marauder all important here. But the roach is not able to get through the bunker. It looks like it will go down, but there's just not enough units here yet. A few banelings would have been ideal, but no banelings in production from Jaedong. Just a lot of roaches to ensure that Bomber can't move out, can't take a third base. And if he's not careful, he's actually going to lose a few of these depots as well. Oh, got to be careful, those Marauders are out, and the roaches will absolutely crumble in that firepower. We have 1-1 just finishing up now for our Terran player. Combat shield starting out as well. We have +2 carapace for our Zerg player, and we have a drop moving down the right hand side. So Bomber looks like he's going to move out for a counter attack here. Could potentially go for a double prong drop if he could get a few more units. Indeed, looks like he may well pull his units from his bunkers. This is very gutsy. He's got the suspicion that Jaedong's pulled back, but if those roaches were still in the middle of the map, there could be quite a devastating counter push here. Looks like these units will make it safely down. Oh, one Marine going to try and pick off that drone, and these units going to come in right behind the third base. Unfortunately for Bomber, Jaedong is here and on top of these roaches, going to be able to force that back, a lift off to the second base, try and harass the natural, while we have another drop moving into the main base. So Overlords here are going to be able to spot it. The question is, does Jaedong have the units to try and defend it? Roaches streaming to the natural to try and defend against this first drop. The second drop in the main base comes in undefended, and drones starting to go down in the main base. Not quick enough reaction from Jaedong. We do have a macro hatch coming out. A few Mutalisks will help with these drops, but Jaedong could potentially lose the spawning pool here with that Zergling speed surprisingly still not finished at the 11-minute mark. When we saw that extractor go up, I had thought that we would see that much earlier in this game, but Zergling's still speedless and the spawning pool being picked off. That is a big play for Bomber, being able to grab that. No Zerglings on the map means no Banelings. And Jaedong's going to be left with only roaches and Mutalisks to try and defend against these attacks. So, got to be super careful here. These Marines and Marauders in a great position, picking up so many of these slow lings here. Is a massively cost-inefficient engagement for Jaedong. Bomber going to pull back with both his forces. He secures the third base in the middle of the map. Going to need to consolidate this position a little bit. The creep spread is moved out right into the middle of the map. Going to be sending down a few Marines, I would think, to clean that up. But Jaedong in just a little bit of trouble, really needs a spawning pool. Baneling Nest actually was already down. Looks like those centrifugal hooks almost finish up, so not as big a problem as it could have been, but certainly not as many Banelings on the field as we'd like to see, courtesy of that drop from Bomber in the main base. It is quite a large Terran move out in the middle of the map. As you can see, Bomber loves to pre-split his units like this, making up for the fact that rather than, well, trying to think of the best way to say it. It sounds silly to say it about a player of Bomber's caliber, but Bomber starting to become just a little bit older in the pro gamer scene, not as young and perhaps as quick as he once was, makes up for it with cunning, devious plans and fantastic gameplay. And one of those things you'll always see from Bomber is this pre-splitting of the units as he's moving on to creep. Very difficult for Banelings to do too much damage against this. The units are well split. We'll see Marauders take up intercepting positions in the front. As you can see, Marauders with most of these Marines ready to buffer against this. Jaedong morphing a bunch of Banelings here in the main base, but these Zerglings still no speed. Speed still about 10 seconds from finishing up as Jaedong tries to engage here on creep, but these Banelings just not getting the connections. They're rolling around, but so many of them getting picked off before they can actually make contact with these Marines. We see Bomber taking a 20 supply lead. There are no Banelings on the map, a few morphing in, but just not anywhere near enough. This group of Marines and Marauders are barreling down. We have Overlords going down. Bomber is now supply blocked Jaedong. These Banelings morph in, but it's going to be too little too late. The third base has gone down. This fourth base terribly isolated. Bomber will be able to pick that off. Mutalisks have managed to take down the third of Bomber, but Bomber with a commanding supply lead. These Lings now at their speed, but just not enough Banelings. These Banelings, that's twice now we've seen them rolling around the centre of that interesting little viewing window there, but not getting enough connections. And Bomber's supply lead just continues to increase. Jaedong forced to rebuild some of his Overlords, 28 more Lings in production. Real question is, how long can Jaedong keep this up with very limited production facilities, only 3 hatcheries on the map, and Bomber is just continuing to increase his lead here as +3 attack is almost finished, 2-2 already finished for our Blue Terran player. And our Zerg player just struggling now, 50 supply down, trying to do some work with these Mutalisks, but there's still plenty of units at home. They're not going to be able to engage here. Overlord's been cleaned up, and that third base will be re-established here in the 12 o'clock location. Bomber moving out through the centre of the map, going to pick off a Queen here for free. I don't know that Jaedong can spare that. 120 supply, probably can't afford to give away any units here. Looking like Bomber will be able to advance on in this series. We have Mutalisks continuing to harass this expansion. Actually getting a little bit of damage done here, but unfortunately I think the writing's already on the wall. 194 supply to 126. Either these Banelings get the most dream connections we've ever seen, or it looks like Bomber will be advancing to the round of 8 at Blizzcon. Bomber moves down as we see the Marauders tanking so many Baneling shots, and they're just not the detonations that Jaedong needs. The Marauders just doing a fantastic job burning through these roaches and tanking so many Baneling shots. The Banelings roll in here, but the Marines all safely tucked away. Great focus fire on these Banelings. They're milling around in the middle of these units as Bomber continues to split almost nothing out of those connections there. 170 supply, 298. I think we'll see Jaedong tap out any moment now. Counter attack here, but it's just not going to be enough as Bomber's supply is almost double that of our Zerg player. GG, Jaedong taps out and Bomber wins and progresses to the round of 8. What a fantastic series between these two players. A full 5 games of non-stop action. Relatively short games. I don't think any of them really went past the 20-minute mark, but fantastic and action-packed ZvT games. Exactly what you've come to expect of players of this caliber. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. We've got plenty more BlizzCon coming up after this. We will be seeing some Protoss love, guys. So our Protoss fans out there, don't go anywhere. Next series, you're going to love it. And don't forget our 10 days of Christmas promotion. So first person to share and message will be receiving that free giveaway. This is Aussie StarCraft. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next cast.